vehicle, and the launch was scheduled for the early morning of May 2, 1961. Prevailing weather conditions, however, caused the launch to be postponed. But on May 5, the astronaut selected to be the first Mercury test pilot was transported to the launch complex. Months had been spent in physical and mental tests of his readiness. A backup astronaut had undergone the same schedule. Just 2 years and 7 months after the inception of Project Mercury, under the direction of the NASA Space Task Group, astronaut Alan B. Shepard traveled the 59 feet up the gantry, and at about T-minus 80 minutes, the hatch was secured. The countdown continued. Years of training, months of trial runs, days of tests, and hours of waiting, and now the links to the Earth were receding. The launch facility's recovery forces were deployed in the event of an early abort or malfunction. At T-minus 10 minutes, the recovery helicopters left for the impact area. As countless millions watched and listened with bated breath, the astronaut maintained manual control of the craft and almost continuous voice communications with Earth. At 9:34 in the morning, the Mercury Redstone 3 flight, with astronaut Alan Shepard at the controls, traveled 300 miles, reached an altitude of 115 miles, and experienced about 5 minutes of zero G. Approximately 16 minutes after liftoff, the spacecraft, now dubbed Freedom7, was located and recovered. The same helicopter picked up first astronaut Alan Shepard and then his Freedom7 spacecraft. It delivered the spacecraft back to the deck of the carrier and finally landed to unload the free world's first spaceman. He received a "well done" from the President, acknowledging for free men everywhere their gratitude. Possible psychological factors resulting from the effects of weightlessness were discussed during the post-flight debriefing. After the preliminary checkup, the astronaut underwent 3 days of rigid testing and mental checks at the Grand Bahama facility. No ill effects from the flight were found. No modifications in the Mercury spacecraft were recommended by the pilot of this first space flight. All systems performed as expected in the MR3 mission. Now, additional Mercury suborbital flights were scheduled. As of this time, training for the astronauts in the stress devices is continuing. Through the continued research and development, training, and